Hi, I'm Dr. Kerstin Kelly of the Ontario Party. The Ontario Party is trying to bring some truth and transparency into government. Speaking of transparency, I'd like to update you on some local happenings. I used to say that Laurie Scott never did much for the Halliburton-Kawartha Brock area at Queen's Park. Well, Laura on our team found that Laurie Scott was actually ramming Bill 65 through Parliament with first reading in March, and then she passed second and third reading back to back just before they shut Parliament before the elections. This bill radically changes how our hospital is operated. I'd just like to give you a bit of background first. The Ross Memorial Hospital was incorporated by a special act in 1903 when John Ross donated the money for the hospital and set it up so it couldn't easily be destroyed, and significant changes to the structure of the board and the governance and operation of the hospital had to be run through legislature. There have been a few acts in 1954, 1964, and 2000 that affected the operation of the act. But unlike those, Bill 65 is a total repeal of the 1903 Act and its subsequent amendments. The plan is to entirely erase 700 plus community members without their knowledge or consent, making it now an entirely self-appointed board. Also, she changed the wording of the act that now she took out the word and put in the word or and removed the word acute care to active care, so that the hospital no longer has to have an emergency department, a surgical department, or a medical department. There do not need to be any medical beds or surgeons at the hospital anymore. It would allow, with total amalgamation with the Peterborough Regional Health Centre. That means that ambulances that come from the north with people with heart attacks or strokes would have to bypass where the Ross Memorial Hospital was and drive all the way to Peterborough. That extra hour of driving can mean life or death for you and your loved ones. We needed a hospital in Lindsay. Now, Laurie Scott says that these changes in words are just semantics, modernizing things. But we know that 3 times she has tried to pass a bill allowing amalgamation with PCRH. The first time with Guillaume Marteau from Thornhill, when Guillaume backed off because of pushback from the public. The second time was with Christine Hogarth, which also failed in Parliament, and this time she did it in secret with a total lack of transparency. Is that the kind of government you want? We think that it's time for a change. Vote for a change. If you've never voted before, it's time to stand up for change, for some truth, honesty, and transparency in government. Vote for the Ontario Party. Vote for Dr. Kerstin Kelly.